Hello friends, myself J.R. Chavan from Department of Environment Science, KTHM College Nasik. This lecture is for the class TYBSc semester 3rd, and the subject which I am going to conduct is terrestrial ecosystem. The paper code is ENV301. The first chapter of terrestrial ecosystem is Introduction to the Ecosystem, and today's lecture topic is general structure of terrestrial community. But first we'll deal with the syllabus of terrestrial ecosystem subject, in which the first chapter is introduction and general structure of terrestrial community. Then second chapter deals with the soil subsystem, vegetation subsystem, and the parameters that controls whole terrestrial environment. Due to this change in environment in India, there are two major hotspots, that is Western Ghats and Eastern Himalayas. This topic is under second chapter. In the third chapter, we'll deal with the distribution of major terrestrial communities, how the communities are distributed in a particular pattern, structure, and its classification. And as the two communities come near to each other, they form an ecotone area which have an edge effect. So ecotone and edge effect are the concept which has been included. Next is the ketone species, that is the species which is available in more population in a particular area. So we'll see in keystone species. Then control of community structure, like types of interactions. There are various type of interactions like predation, parasitism, antibiosis, commensalism, cooperation, and mutualism. Further, in the next chapter, we will study the major biomes or major biogeographical zones of terrestrial ecosystem. For example, there is tundra, northern conifer forest, temperate deciduous forest, and so on. So in all over the earth, there are number of terrestrial biomes which are been studied in this chapter. These classification are based on their characteristics of atmosphere, the presence of animal, that is the presence of flora, fauna, and each and everything. This classification is based on that purposes. Next is terrestrial ecosystem services and management. So what services we obtain from terrestrial ecosystem and how they can be managed. So the services are aesthetic and cultural benefits, tourism and recreational benefits, industrial services, drugs and medicines. These all services we get from terrestrial ecosystem, and we all should manage it sustainably. Next is the carbon pool and sequestration potential. So as everyone know that the major gas which has which made greenhouse effect very severe on the earth is carbon. So how carbon can be stored in the terrestrial ecosystem and how it can be sequestrated is studied. Next is the biogeocycles and its important. So the biogeocycles like nutrient nitrogen cycle, oxygen cycle, phosphorus cycle, sulfur cycle, these all cycles are studied in biogeocycles, and how they are important and how they are source of plant nutrient for ecosystem maintenance. In the next chapter further, we'll deal with various ecosystem management services like remote sensing and GIS, how this technique is applicable in terrestrial ecosystem. Then joint forest management and eco development program, community based forest management program. These all management programs are only for the conservation of forest or conservation of terrestrial ecosystem. In this management systems, the first aim or objective is to stop the deforestation activity and to conserve each and every species of terrestrial ecosystem. Then the next topic is forest fire. Then what are the reasons behind forest fire, effects and control measure and management methods for forest fire controlling. Next is method of vegetation sampling and data analysis. How the sampling of each vegetation is done, because when we do the population forecasting or population census, at that time we can talk, human beings can talk, so we can easily count the number of human beings in a particular area, we can register them. But as for vegetation there are number of wild species, for animals there are number of wild species. So what are the sampling techniques by which we can do the census of flora and as well as fauna? So there are different type of analysis technique like sampling approaches, quadrant method, line and belt transect method, point frame method, and due to which the vegetation classification is done and the species are studied that are associated with that vegetation. Next, after studying all these points of terrestrial ecosystem, we'll deal with the case studies which are done for the habitat restoration of various areas, like restoration of surface mine lands, that mining is done in a particular area. So after mining or after extraction of any metal from that area, how the area is restored so that the again there the aesthetic value of that area may increased. So that point is studied. Next is restoring a dry tropical forest of Goan-Cast National Park. This is a case study. Next is the Chipko movement. Everyone knows that to stop the deforestation, the Chipko movement was done in India. Next is community-based forest management in Orissa. And at last chapter, the exploitation and consequences of terrestrial natural resources. So till now we have studied that whatever resources are available in terrestrial ecosystem, the syllabus is through that. What type of terrestrial ecosystem are there, what services we obtain from the ecosystem, how they can be managed, how they can be used. But what happens that as population has increased, the resources has been exploited, and then there we can see the severe consequences of this over exploitation of the resources. So in the last chapter we have to study that how the exploitation is done and what are the consequences of this exploitation. Then to control these consequences or this negative effect of extracting natural resources, we have to do the sustainable management of that resources. And after that is role of local government and people in the conservation. So when sustainable management techniques are being implemented, so what is the role of local government of an area and the people, so that the conservation of the resources can be done. Then further there is impact of tourism and ecotourism. So tourism means when the peoples visit a particular area, then sometimes they disturb their aesthetic and cultural value, so that is a negative impact. And then ecotourism concept is implemented so that eco-friendly the tourist can visit any spot and there will be no harm to the flora and fauna of that spot. Next is managing rain for future generation and conservation and sustainable use of India's forest resources. So this is the complete syllabus of terrestrial ecosystem. So now we'll study what is terrestrial ecosystem and its introduction. So terrestrial ecosystem, when we are studying, first we should know that what is mean by a ecosystem. So an ecosystem is a self-regulating group of biotic communities of species interacting with one another and with their non-living environment, exchanging energy and matter. So when in an particular area the biotic community, that means the living organism, interact with one another, means when two different species interact with each other and also they interact with abiotic components. Abiotic components are the components like air, water, soil, plants, not plants, air, water and soil. These are the abiotic components. So when living species and flora and fauna interact with each other also and interact with these abiotic components, then they form a ecosystem. And if we have to study terrestrial ecosystem, when this flora fauna interaction is seen on land surface or is seen on lithosphere, then that system or that ecosystem is termed as terrestrial ecosystem. Then further, what is the structure of terrestrial community? So what is the basic structure of terrestrial ecosystem and community? The community structure is divided into two types, that is biotic components and abiotic components. If you are studying about biotic components, it is divided into three major organisms, that is producer, consumer and decomposers. So when we are studying about biotic components, the various biotic components are representative of three functional groups. They are producer, consumer and decomposers. And life in an ecosystem is nutritionally structured by combining all these three functional groups. The plants, animals and microorganisms present in an ecosystem form a biotic component. These organisms have different nutritional behavior and status in an ecosystem. So first we will see about producer organisms, or it can be also called as autotrophs. Auto means self and trop means food. So when the organisms prepare their own food by a source of energy, natural source of energy, which is sun, so these organisms are called as producers. They are mainly the green plants which can synthesize their food themselves by making use of carbon dioxide that is present in the air and water in the presence of sunlight by involving the chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is a green pigment that is present in the leaves. This whole process is called as photosynthesis. So when green plants produce their food by using the natural source of energy, the chlorophyll present in the plants, and by the presence of air and water, then that organism is called as producers. There are different type of trees, different type of climbers, epiphytes, shrubs and ground vegetation. These all comes under producer organisms. And the major if example we have taken in forest ecosystem, then there may be Tectona grandis, Acer, Betula, Piscia, pine, cedrus, mango, neem, ashoka tree. So whatever trees that does the photosynthetic activity and they are present on the land or on the lithosphere, that organisms are called as producers. So this is an image where you can see the sunlight, that is natural source of energy, comes on the plant. There is a rainfall, that is water the plant get from rainfall, and the exchange of gases, that they intake the CO2 and release oxygen from the plants. So they prepare a food through photosynthetic activity. This is called as producers or autotrophs. Next are the consumer. Consumers are of more number of population of consumer can be seen on terrestrial ecosystem. All organisms which get their organic food by feeding upon their other organisms or on the plants is called as consumers. There are three major type of consumer, that is primary consumer, secondary consumer and tertiary consumer. So this interdependency on each and every organism is called as food chain. So as consumers are dependent on plants, and consumers are also divided into three categories: primary, secondary and tertiary. So this interdependent is called as food chain. When we are dealing about only primary consumer, so these are also called as herbivorous plant, that is they feed directly on producers, and so they are called as primary consumer or herbivorous. For example, ants, beetles, bugs, spiders, they feed on tree leaves. And if you are talking about large animals, so elephant, deer, giraffe, you can talk about goat, hen, these all animals are dependent on the shoot or fruit of the plants, so they are called as herbivorous. Second is secondary consumer. Actually, secondary and tertiary consumers are also called as carnivorous plant because carnivorous animals, because these animals are dependent on only animals. They are meat eaters, or they are dependent on the flesh of other consumers. So these are called as carnivorous. These carnivorous are as secondary consumer and tertiary consumer. The animals that are dependent on primary consumer is called as secondary consumer. For example, birds, lizard, frog, snake, foxes, etc. And tertiary consumers are the consumer that are dependent on secondary consumer. For example, lion, tiger, cheetah, these all are the tertiary consumers. So you can see that cow is an herbivore, and this fox is an carnivore. And there is a concept of omnivorous, that is omnivores are feeding on both, that is plants also and animals also. You can take example of human being, because human beings some human beings eat the meat or flesh of animals also, and they are dependent on the plants also. So human being is a best example of omnivorous plant. So these are the examples of herbivorous. Herbivorous are cow, goat, deer, horse. These all are the few examples of herbivorous in terrestrial ecosystem. These are the omnivorous. You can see the human beings, civet, badger, brown bear. These all are the omnivorous animals. These are the carnivores. So from the images you can see that each and every carnivore is dependent on the flesh of animals, that is leopard, tiger, uh, snow leopard, seal, polar bear. And the third structural component of terrestrial ecosystem are the decomposers. So the food is prepared by the producer, that is autotrophs. Then comes the consumers, in which there are the primary consumer, that means they are dependent on the producers. Then secondary consumer, those are dependent on the primary consumer. Then third one is tertiary consumer, that are dependent on the secondary consumer. But when these all producers and consumers get dead and decomposed, then this decomposition process is done by the decomposers. They derive their nutrition by breaking down the complex organic molecule of dead organism to a simple organic compound, and ultimately into an inorganic nutrient. The best examples of decomposers are bacteria, fungus. These are the decomposers. They attract the dead or decayed bodies of organism, and thus decomposition process takes place. So these all are the biotic components or biotic components of structure of terrestrial ecosystem. Then the next is abiotic component of terrestrial ecosystem. These include the basic inorganic and organic compounds that are present in soil and atmosphere. So it is also divided into physical and chemical components you can talk about. So physical, if you're talking about physical factors, the sunlight and shade, intensity of sun, then minimum and maximum temperature, rainfall, wind, altitude, latitude, soil types, these all comes under physical factor of terrestrial ecosystem. That means soil and atmospheric characteristics are included in physical factors of abiotic component. And if you are talking about chemical factor, so all the chemical characteristics of soil and atmosphere, like the essential nutrients, carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, hydrogen and other salts, comes under the chemical factor of abiotic components. So likewise, these biotic and abiotic components of terrestrial ecosystem are linked with each other. All the biotic components of an ecosystem are influenced by the abiotic components and vice versa. and they are linked together through an energy flow or nutrient cycle, which is also called as biogeochemical cycle. We are going to study the biogeochemical cycle in later chapters also. So today we have studied the introduction of terrestrial ecosystem and what is the structure of terrestrial ecosystem. Thank you.